So question number 1. The diagonal of a square is 10 centimeter. What is the area of the square? So we'll see the working. So we saw that area of a square in terms of its side is side into side. Say for a given square whose side is A, area is equal to A square. And here the data is, the diagonal is given and we need to find the area of the square. So to find the diagonal, so the diagonal joins the opposite vertex of the square, and using this Pythagoras theorem, so diagonal square is equal to A square plus A square, so which is equal to 2A square. So to find the diagonal, we take square root on either sides, so D equal to root 2 times A. And to find side in terms of diagonals, so it is D by root 2. And area in terms of diagonal is equal to A square, so which is equal to D by root 2 into D by root 2. So that is D square by 2. And now to find the area of a square when diagonal is given, so instead of doing all this, so here diagonal is equal to 10 centimeter, square with 2, we get area of the square, so which is equal to 100 centimeter square. And answer for question number 1 is option D, 50 square centimeter. And to find area of the square in terms of diagonal, it is equal to diagonal square by 2. So we'll see the next question, question number 2. Area of a square field is 1,05,625 square meter. What will be the cost to fence it if cost per meter is rupees 25? So we'll see the working. So area of the field is given, so which is equal to meter square. So this is a square field, so this area of the square field of a square is side into side is equal to, so 1,05,625. Finding square root on either side, it is root of so to find the square root, as this area ends with 625, the last two numbers will be 25, and splitting this into 2, the square number contained in 10 is 3. So side of the square field is 325 meters. So the length that has to be fenced is equal to perimeter of the square. So which is equal to perimeter of a square equal to 4A. So the length that has to be fenced is 4 into, so side we have got as 325. And to find the total cost, multiply the whole length, that is the perimeter, with the cost per meter. The whole length that has to be fenced is and cost per meter is rupees 25. Now finding the product, we get the total cost. Now combining this 4 and 25, so we have 100. So the total cost is, so we have simplified the product by combining this 4 and 25. So the total cost is rupees 32,500. And answer for question number 2 is option A, rupees 32,500. And the working here is, so as area is given, find the square root, we get the side, then find the perimeter and multiply the perimeter with the cost per meter, total cost is got. So we'll see the next question. Question number 3. Length of a rectangular field is 135 meters and its breadth is 95 meters. For fencing the field, poles are erected with 2.5 meters distance apart. How many poles will be needed to fence it? So we'll see the working. The length and breadth of the rectangular field is given and it needs to be fenced. So length equal to 135 meters and breadth is equal to 95 meters. So as we are going to fence it, we find the perimeter of the rectangular field. So perimeter of the rectangular field is 2 times length and breadth. And to find number of poles, so divide the perimeter by distance between the poles. Here distance between the poles is given as 2.5 meters. And now to find the perimeter, so 2 into length is 135 and breadth is 95 meters. So for the purpose of easy calculations, we keep this here 2 into 230, so which is equal to 460. And now to find the number of poles, so perimeter by distance between the poles. So when you are dividing, when the divisor is a decimal, you convert to an integer by multiplying. Here as you have one decimal place, multiply and divide it with 10, so which is equal to 10. So splitting this 46 hundreds as 46 into 100 by 25, so 4 times, so which is equal to 184 poles. So we need 184 poles that has to be erected to do the fencing. And answer for question number 3 is option C, 184. And the working is to find the number of poles, perimeter of the field by distance between the poles. So we'll see the next question. Question number 4. For an election meeting, 16 lamp posts were to be placed in a 180 feet long road. Then what should be the distance between the lamp posts? So we'll see the working. So here the length of the road is given as 180 feet. Say for example, So if length of the road is 100 feet and we need to erect 5 of equal distance. So to find the distance between the poles, the whole length, so if we divide by the number of poles, so it is 20. So here the distance 20, so 24 times we get only 80 feet. So to find the distance between the poles, we have to divide by 1 less than the number of poles, because we need only the intervals. So for 5 poles we have 4 intervals, so divide by 1 less than the number of poles. So the distance between the poles has to be 25 feet. So now we have length of the road is equal to 180 feet and number of poles is given as 16. So to find the distance where the poles has to be placed, so divide it with 1 less than the number of poles, so which is equal to and answer for question number 4 is option E, 12 feet. To find the distance between the poles, which is equal to length of the road by n minus 1, where n is the number of poles.